welcome back to the channel. In the previous video, I showed you step by step how I installed these aftermarket steering wheel controllers. So far they have been working great and I've enjoyed some convenience while controlling my media on the Android system. In this fourth part of the car upgrade series, I will show you how I installed the automatic car window closer. This device conveniently closes all windows when you lock the car door. It is a rare feature that is only found in the very high-end cars like the Mercedes and BMW. The module comes simple in a box with a wiring harness and a manual. The manual is actually just a wiring diagram and it's very simple to read provided you have the right skills. The module can be found in Kenya for about 1,400 shillings or 11 USD. The installation of this module is relatively easy because all you have to do is locate the central locking system. In case you're wondering what central locking system is, this is the point from which you can be able to control all windows and door locks. It is usually located on the car driver's door. Items needed for this job include a Phillips head screwdriver, a flat head screwdriver, a multimeter, or the ingenious wire tester used by Kenyan technicians. This is basically a razor blade attached to a cable and a bulb. It is conveniently used to test for cables with 12 volts and ground without having to cut the wires. For the Nissan Note, I had to remove this door lining panel to be able to access the cables. To do that, I first had to remove this storage unit. I achieved that by removing the screw inside and then lifting it from the door panel. Then I removed the central controller by snapping it out from the door panel. It is held in place by clips. Next is to remove the wiring connectors and isolate this from the door panel completely. Next, I removed the trim on the door panel lever. Now I could be able to pull the inner panel from the door, which is held in place by clips. Once all the clips have been detached, you remove the panel by lifting it up and it comes right off. Looking at the wiring diagram, the module requires 4 important connections. The first one being ground, the second one being the 12 volts power rail, the third one being the Windows motor, and the fourth one being the ACC. If you are lucky, all these wires can be found on that central locking system. Finding them is another story altogether. With the module reattached, I embarked on a journey to find the motor wires first. Luckily, the window raiser only requires 4 motor wires, and these are the wires that provide the power to raise the window only. So all you need to do is to test for wires that become active whenever you press the Windows up button. I would have loved to give you the hack, but unfortunately the wiring is different for all vehicles. Among the 4 connections required, constant 12 volts and ground were the easiest to find. Constant 12 volts means this wire is always powered even if the vehicle is off. To minimize on cutting of cables, I deployed my T-tap wire connectors. These are connectors that bite into the wire insulation and tap the cable without damaging it. The joining wire is then attached to this male connector, and it conveniently forms a strong T-junction. The power line comes pre-installed with a 15 amp fuse. This will provide protection for any overload or short circuit. I will now briefly explain how I did the wiring. If you own a Nissan Note, this might just make your work easier. For example, yellow, yellow, white. Yellow and white. So I cut this cable and then I connect the yellow on one side and the white on the other side. Then for the second window, yellow and yellow green. So first find yellow and yellow green on this one, which is this and this, and then you will cut the driver's side window wire, which is this one. I cut it on both ends, and then you connect one side to this and one side to that, and you do the same for all the wires. So I'm going to give a negative signal, a positive signal to this wire, which is the trigger that's supposed to be triggered by the alarm, and then we see what happens to the window there. So here is a 12 volt signal. So this is it. That window is going up. The other one is also going up. Then this one is going up. Let us see what's happening. The last window. Nice. So all the windows are up. And we have a working system. So now to tidy up on the wiring and call it a day. One important requirement for this system is the door lock trigger. This is a momentary 12 volt signal that tells the system that it's okay to now raise the windows. To locate the door lock signal, we use the razor blade trick to get the 12 volt signal. Such signals can be easily missed by a multimeter, but can be found or read by an oscilloscope. The razor trick is simple. Tie the input trigger signal to the razor and then use the razor to tap each and every cable as you activate the lock signal. When the right signal is sent, automatically the windows will start to raise. Simple as that. Here is a final demo of the window raiser at work. I was quite pleased with the results. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next episode.